proposal, Honorable Speaker, in the bill that is bringing into the ambit of taxation what are called the land-based casinos. Because we have effectively dealt with the question of online gambling. But today, people who are doing on land casinos, those who are giving away giveaways like cars, the people who do lottery and you win a car, those things are not being taxed, and therefore we are bringing them into the ambit of taxation at the rate of 20%. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, this also saves not only saving those who are getting into the habit of betting, and many families have suffered from this vice, Honorable Speaker. Many families. Unfortunately, Honorable Speaker, and I'm still looking at Honorable Robert Mbui in the eye. Unfortunately, my brother Robert Mbui, the people who are suffering are people in our villages who are betting at street corners, in kiosks, on those machines that are usually put there by foreigners, most of them Chinese-made and Chinese-owned. And people are betting, and those people are paying no tax. We must go for them to raise taxes. I want anybody to stand here and tell us that we should not tax those people, that we should not protect our children. I want you to tell me that we should not tax those who are importing choppers into this country or light aircraft, while us protecting, Honorable Speaker, we are also protecting the industry in aviation, because in the past what has happened, and that is why this proposal had come to this House, that people were going and buying parts, you ship those parts to our neighboring countries, you take your aircraft to the neighboring country, get it fixed there, because spare parts would have been cheaper there because of taxes. We are exempting tax on spare parts. And even for huge aircraft, if KQ was to buy a new plane, for instance, that is exempted. If Lufthansa or British Airways want to repair their Boeing or their Airbus here, their parts also are exempted. That is how this bill, Honorable Speaker, is dealing with that question. Honorable Speaker, this bill also speaks to a question of an uncertainty that was there around gratuity. And I know myself, the Honorable Robert Mbui, and others here, we have staff in our offices who are paid gratuity. I know some of you may have retired some of your staff after 2 or 3 years, and those staff don't benefit from gratuity. The bill is making it clear that so long as you have worked for 3 years, you will benefit from your gratuity, Honorable Speaker. That is putting money back into the pockets of our people, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as I finish, the amendments to the VAT Act, Honorable Speaker, I said many of them may have touched on issues as proposed in the bill that touch on farmers, on pharmaceuticals, Honorable Speaker, and on other raw materials, and the committee in their proposal has proposed to delete all those, and therefore they will be deleted in line with the wishes of the people of Kenya during public participation. Finally, Honorable Speaker, there's a question that was raised, and I know Honorable Kaluma and the chair have divergent views on this one. Honorable Robert Mbui spoke to it. At what point, if you assess me as KRA, and I go to the tax tribunal, at what point will I be forced to pay before I appeal? Honorable Speaker, the proposal that is there that the committee has proposed to delete. The proposal was that when you go to the tribunal, you pay your tax 100%. The committee has proposed to delete that. But I beg to disagree. Because what has been happening, Honorable Speaker, very huge taxpayers get assessed probably 100 million shillings.
Additional 1 minute.
Honorable Speaker, you can inform the House you're adding what from the disruptions. Honorable Speaker, I was saying when you assess your 100 million shillings, you have the right to go to a tribunal. Robert Mbui was telling us that Kenyans will not go to court. The tribunal is appointed by the judiciary. It is a quasi-judicial process. You have the right to appeal to the High Court all the way to the Supreme Court. The proposal the Finance Committee has brought to us is to delete that proviso, but I was of a different view, that at the point you are assessed, if you go to the tribunal and the tribunal upholds the assessment by KRA, you must pay something, and I would be proposing at least you pay 50% of what is being demanded as you appeal in the High Court, Honorable Speaker. Because it is a game of chances and probability. The case in the High Court and all the way to the Supreme Court could end either way. Because what has been happening, Honorable Speaker, is people are using the judicial process, whereas many poor Kenyans and young Kenyans are
the Honorable Kaluma. They will be.
I thank you.
Order.
Honorable member, it's my time. Honorable Speaker.
What's your point of order, Wamboka? Yeah, Wamboka is on a point of order.
Honorable Speaker, is Honorable Majority Leader, Kimani Ichungwa, in order to keep on mentioning our leaders and bringing their names here on the floor, when he knows very well, perhaps he may never reach where they have reached. Honorable Speaker, is he in order?
Continue.
Is he?
I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I sit in the Finance Committee.
Order, Majority Leader, what is your point of order, Majority Leader?
Honorable Speaker, you know, Honorable Jack Wamboka is my very good friend. And he knows what I may have said was not on record. He's now informing Kenyans what I might have said off record, Honorable Speaker. And all I said is that Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka had not read the finance bill when he alleged that we are converting freehold land into leasehold land. Just like Robert Mbui had not read this finance bill. Just like the other man from Wamonyoro has told them to come and make noise in the house instead of contributing ideas on how we can raise taxes.
Order, Majority Leader, order.
You know, Honorable Speaker, these people have been mobbing.
Order. Order. Honorable Kaluma, proceed.
I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker.
What is your point of order, Honorable Mbui? What's your point of order? What's the point of order? Mbui, order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order. Honorable Kalasinga, order. Order. Order.
Thank you.
Proceed. What's your point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I have given the floor to Honorable Mbui.
Thank you,
the rest
Mr.
of you
Speaker.
be quiet.
Mr. Speaker,
Silence.
with all due respect to the Majority Leader,
Yes.
who, tells us that he understands the standing orders.
Yeah.
Is he in order
Yes.
to discuss a member who was a former Vice President, most likely the next President, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, without a substantive motion? Is he in order?
Yes, what's your point of order? Order. Gracious lady, Wamuchomba is on a point of order. What's your point of order? Wamuchomba to be heard in silence. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, when you are seated there, Mr. Speaker, you have now eyes, no ears until we inform you. Is it in order for honorable members, elected by millions of people, to shout like a marketplace? Instead of asking, is it in order, Mr. Speaker?
Is it in order?
Order.
No,
Order. I'll give you. Order. Honorable Kaluma has the floor.
I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I sit in the Finance Committee, and Honorable Speaker, this has been the most difficult finance bill to process because, Honorable Speaker, it is being done in a very constrained economic environment. We were looking at how to ensure that tax administration is efficient, without, of course, increasing taxes, Honorable Speaker, because as people have been saying, the tax burden on the individual is very big. We were looking at how to broaden the tax base and to get everybody to pay their due taxes, therefore, Honorable Speaker, without having any tax increments. And I wanted to confirm, Honorable Speaker, that as a committee, we did not just go throughout the country, but we sat for very long hours. So much so, Honorable Speaker, that by yesterday, when we were still sitting to process the report, I remember the chair called to be asking, what are you still sitting over because of exhaustion? Of course, I want to be grateful to the Kenyans who gave their views on these taxation measures, and they have been integrated. By yesterday, the report of the committee was over 350 pages. I believe there could be changes upon increases or decreases, but it confirms the level of public participation engaged in this matter. And I want to thank Kenyans, Honorable Speaker, that unlike in 2024, Kenyans are now coming forward with views to enrich the finance bill, especially the young people. Honorable Speaker, the bill as drawn has really helped to secure that we raise enough money to sustain the budget, which we are, was highlighted here and we continue to process. And Honorable Speaker, we are acutely aware that it is the desire of Kenya that for the individual, at least we reduce, taxes, more so for the vulnerable. And so I'm in support of this bill, Honorable Speaker. We went through them clause by clause.
Those provisions which require a bit of cleanups, Honorable Speaker, the committee has made, proposals. Honorable Speaker, because of time and using my expertise in law, allow me only to highlight some issues over which I disagree with the committee in terms of the amendments being proposed on the report. And on this I'm doing, Honorable Speaker, because during the deliberations before adoption, I did indicate to the committee that I was to a contrary view on some of them. Honorable Speaker, let me start by attending to issue number 1, which is the issue of agency notices, which the majority leader ended up with.
The current Tax Procedures Act says that when you dispute taxes, there is some alternative dispute resolution between you and Kenya Revenue Authority. And if that fails, Honorable Speaker, you then go to the Tax Appeals Tribunal as the court, or let me say judicial level of the first instance. What it says after that is that you have the right to appeal. And these appeals, based on the strictures of the Constitution, as a lawyer you know, can go then to the Court of Appeal. The point in the Act now, before this bill, Honorable Speaker, is that so long as you appeal the decision of the Tax Tribunal to the High Court, you can also appeal from the High Court to the Court of Appeal. You can appeal from the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court. All that time, no agency notice will issue. And in the bill, Honorable Speaker, the chair under whose name the bill is brought, the bill has drafted proposes, Honorable Speaker, that while agency notices will not issue when you are moving up to the Tax Appeals Tribunal, when you are now moving from the Tax Appeal Tribunal, the Tax Appeals Tribunal, having listened to the parties and resolved that you owe the government money in terms of taxes, the bill is proposing that if you need any further stays, you now go to the High Court on appeal and you apply for stay in the High Court. Or if you move from the High Court to the Court of Appeal, you apply for stay there. But the fact that you are appealing does not automatically operate to stop you from discharging your obligation to pay the due taxes, because it is already determined by the tribunal after the attempts at alternative dispute tribunal. And Honorable Speaker, I wanted to say that you are a lawyer like me and a very senior one. Even for purposes of civil litigation, once you have an injunction, you go to the court of first instance. When you go to the court of appeal, there are applications we usually make under 52B for stay, if you want them. And then the court will consider whether you are appealing, Honorable Speaker, on good grounds, or you just have a frivolous appeal so that you continue enjoy stay to give it to you. So I wanted to disagree with the committee, because the committee is seeking to reverse us to the previous situation, where so long as you have appeals pending, for howsoever they are heard, because we have not limited them in terms of time, and like elections, disputes, there will be automatic stay. What it does, Honorable Speaker, is that this money is with the person